Welcome back to JB Reviews. Today I have my friend Ben Byerly here.
How's it going?
And we are going to be doing fuel filter changes on both of our trucks. Now we have 2024 GMCs.
Yep.
You have a 3500, I have a 2500.
Yep.
You go to Chevron.
All the time.
All the time. I go to Costco all the time. So we get a chance to show you guys the fuel filters. You have about 10,000 miles?
About 10.5, 10.7.
I'm at 13,000.
Okay.
So we're going to pull the filters out. I'm going to show you guys how to do this for the 2024 trucks, although it's the same for all L5P Duramaxes. And then we're going to show you guys a comparison. Now I have a few tools today and we'll kind of go through some of the things that you guys are going to need. So let's go ahead and get started. You ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's go. So here's everything that we have. I'm going to get a little closer. So this is my setup. I always use OEM filters just because I live by if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Correct.
But Ben Byerly over here, he wants to complicate things. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
You're right. So I'm looking for the best part for the cheapest option.
There you
right?
go. Yeah. And you've done a lot of research on the Dox diesel fuel filters. So in the comment section, be sure to give your thoughts if you've used Dox before. That way, you know, we can get your perspective too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, people's experiences or trials, whatever, with whatever, you know,
Yeah.
it makes a difference.
Absolutely.
So I watch a lot of Instagram reels, see this all the time. People seem to like it, so we're going to try it out.
Absolutely. And here's just a quick look side by side. So this is the OEM, and I did get this off Amazon. Some people will say that these are knockoffs, but if it says Czech Republic on the top there, that is confirmed to be the OEM. So this is the Dox diesels filter. It's a little different, but it's not a huge difference. You can kind of tell on mine, there's like some dots on it. Right there, you can see those dots. And this is the Dox here. So they look like they'll perform as, you know, they should.
Yep.
And then here's just a quick look at the top of them. They have the O-rings there. And then just a quick look at that bottom. So this kind of goes in this way inside the truck. And then here is mine. Now I use the Hot Shot Secret Everyday Diesel Treatment, and Mr. Ben Byerly uses the AMSOIL. He swears by it. He runs it in all of his cars for how many years?
20 plus years.
20 plus years. So he's a believer in AMSOIL, and I've heard good things about them too. So you say you've seen, you know,
Definitely
a little bit
difference.
even in your Bronco when you put the fuel additive in that, you've noticed.
We're talking 3 to 4 miles a gallon in the Bronco.
Nice.
We're talking 2 to 3 in the diesel. And that's once every 2 to 3 months.
Okay.
Adding the treatment, right?
Yeah.
So about 4, maybe 5 times a year with the treatment.
That's awesome. That's good stuff. So let's go ahead and get started. You guys can see the O-rings. They look to be exactly the same. So let's go ahead and put these things in. Let's start out by showing some of the tools we're going to be using today. So obviously we're going to have to drain the diesel, and we're not going to reuse any fuel that comes out, just as an FYI. Last time I did this, there's some like metal particles in there, so I would just recommend just disposing of it. You're going to need a ratchet set. I mean, this, you don't need something this big, but I mean, hey, it's what I have here, and I have just an adapter. This is going to be a 6.36 socket. You're going to need a T40 for the water, oil, or water diesel separator. And I would just say a pry tool. Obviously, if you want a light and a creeper, those things are going to make things a little bit easier. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and put this under. Now, if you're wondering where that fuel filter housing is, it's going to be right here. It's like pretty much next to the front of the fuel tank. So it's right there. You guys will see. Now, the good news is, last time I did this on my 2023, there is some diesel residue on the outside of the housing, and that's not the case for mine. Let's go ahead and take a look at Ben's and see what his looks like. So, same story. You guys see the fuel tank right there? So on his truck, housing is right here. And again, there's no residue on the outside of the housing. Now the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna use the T40 for that water and diesel separator. So all you have to do on the very top of the housing, let's see if I can show it to you guys. You see, this is where that Torx screw is gonna go here. And so you're gonna twist it counterclockwise. And let's see if I can show it to you guys and do it at the same time. Let's see, a little tough, but yeah, Yeah, and at that point, you don't really need the tool. It's not that tight, so don't over tighten this stuff. So I'm just gonna go ahead and twist it off. Okay, nothing's coming out. There it is. So that just dropped out. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and untighten this. So I'll show you guys the way you have to turn that, okay? You're gonna twist off the filter this way. And I would just say go really slow. And having an adapter is a good idea too.
I'm putting water out here for you guys.
Oh, thank you. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, they're cold.
So now it's starting to drip a little bit. So having a pan down is perfect too. And it's gonna get messier too, watch. So it's coming out slowly but surely. So just go slow with it. Can you see the dripping?
Yep.
Nice.
You know, it's too bad that when you empty the water, it doesn't empty the fuel too, so you only have to pull the one little plug.
Yeah.
And then you could take the whole thing off.
Yeah. Yeah, you see that?
Yep.
So much fuel comes out of here. This has been the cleanest I've ever done it because I never had nice tools. Oh, shoot,
there you
to
go.
do it. There it is. Now it's,
But your raised pan there is awesome.
yeah, this is a game changer right here, having this. Oh man, this is so much easier.
Okay.
So from here, once you get it untight, I think I turned it like 3 or 4 times, and then you can just drop it down with your hand. It's so much easier. You're gonna have to dump out the diesel inside the canister, because if you don't, it's just gonna dump out on the floor. There's a bunch of it in there too. You know, this filter is not as dark as my last one was. Wow.
So quality of the fuel is better.
Yeah. We did travel cross country, so I did go to some truck stops. I probably got filled like maybe 16 times. So there's probably some biodiesel in here. But I will say, that ain't bad. That ain't bad at all. That looks really good actually. Now let's go into your truck.
Okay.
All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and untighten the 3500. So when I undid Ben's water, oil, diesel, I wouldn't say oil, but water, diesel separator, a little bit of water came out. Just a little bit, not much.
Which is normal and
Yeah.
good because it says it's doing its job.
There you go, exactly. There we go. I don't want to put pressure.
Now, are these plastic housings or metal housings?
They are plastic. You can get a metal one if you want. And I mean, that might be better too, you know, because I've heard of guys actually breaking these too, so it's something to consider if you are planning on doing this yourself. There it is. It's so funny. So your truck sits just a little bit lower than mine, and it makes a big difference on changing this. It's crazy.
So if you had to do it again, would you use ramps in the back?
I think that would be a good idea for the non-AT4X trucks, because this does sit just a hair lower. But once you get it pretty untightened, there it is. You don't really have to use this because it'll pretty much come undone by itself, but yeah, it's still a little tight. So here is the canister. You guys can see I just wiped it out with some blue paper towels, cleaned the housing, and I've already put this piece back in for the separator. And this is Ben's filter already installed. He put the new O-ring on. I just have a pry tool like this, pull that sucker out, and then there's one inside that I'll show you guys here in a second. And then I'll show you guys my filter installed. And then we're gonna show you guys the filters side by side as well to show you the differences. Mine has 13,000, Ben's has 10,000. So I got that O-ring off here. So they give you two, obviously. So you have a small one and a slightly larger one. So what you're gonna do is, you're gonna take it, put a little bit of diesel on it, so that way when you put it in, you don't pinch it when you're twisting it all back on there. And then it just goes back over the canister like this. And it just goes into the groove at the very bottom. You can't miss it because it's pretty It's a little bit bigger or a little bit wider, and it's the very bottom one right there. So here's the other O-ring. This is a smaller one. I'm gonna show you guys where it goes. We're gonna have to go under the truck. And it's right here. So let me get some light so you guys can probably see it right there. So it's right on here. It is kind of hard to get off, but if you have a pry tool, Ben, what do you use? You said you have a
so I got a set of little hooks because I have a Ford Bronco that has a big ring that you have to take off of that. And those little hooks get right up in there and they'll pull it right off.
Yeah. So I have this guy here. It's this tool. So let's see if I can just kind of push it up and over.
So if you take that and pinch it and push it to one side, push it forward, it'll give you a little slack in there and you can just slide the one tooth in it.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
All right, you're going.
Cool. So for the canister and the one that's connected to the truck, just take a rag and just wipe it out. Just a good idea. Now Ben mentioned that there's some metal prongs in there, and he's thinking that these might be magnetic. So when you put this blue O-ring back on, make sure you don't, scrape against these so you don't damage it. So I would just be careful there. But yeah, wipe it all out, get it all nice and clean, and we'll show you guys what to do next. Alrighty, so all you have to do now, this is the bottom, so it goes in this way, and you're gonna hear a popping sound like this.
You're crooked.
I am crooked, yeah. Should be right. Still crooked, huh?
Yeah.
There it is.
There you go.
So that's the popping sound there. And all you have to do now is just hand tighten it, and then we'll tighten it back in with the ratchet. So now you're gonna hold down the button for about 3 to 5 seconds. There it is.
There we go.
And you're gonna hear this sound. And I would say wait at least 3 minutes, because you're gonna hear some swishing noises. So it's just priming the system basically. And sometimes, like, if I don't drive my truck for a while, I'll do this too. So now it's pulling fuel from the tank back into the filter. And we're just gonna wait 3 minutes, and then we'll go ahead and start the truck and let you guys know how it sounds. Moment of truth. Oh, you start right up. Yeah. That was good. Here's mine. There it is. Starts right up. And all we have to do now is just go in here, fuel filter reset. It's super simple to do, and it's done. And it should reset in a second. Let's just go away from it and see what happens. Nope. But yeah, all you have to do is reset. It's really easy to do, and it'll just show 100%. But let's go ahead and check out the old filters, and then I'll pretty much end the video. All right, so on this side, this is Ben's filter, and then this is mine. And we both agreed there's no difference.
No difference.
No difference at all. Looks like the filters did their job. I mean, his has 3,000 less miles than mine, but yeah, there's really no difference in the filters whatsoever. So yeah, I mean, it's still something to do at 15,000 miles minimum. I would definitely not go over that, number one. But number two, if
at
you
least once a year.
Yeah, and
once a year, no matter.
Yeah, and I will say, and I will add, you might want to do it sooner if you do a lot of biodiesel. They say that biodiesel is something you should change more frequently than even 15K. So if you're a hot shot and you're always at truck stops getting biodiesel, get these changed a little bit sooner. If you do a lot of towing, obviously you're filling up a lot more, getting less fuel economy. Another thing to think about as well. So just keep those things in mind. And next video we do in the future will be us basically going over your aftermarket filter versus the factory one to see if there's any differences on that.
So next year, same time.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because I don't think I'm gonna be driving my truck as much as I did this year. But yeah, for sure, I'll still try to drive it so I can get some miles on it for sure. But yeah, we should definitely do this in a year to see the differences.
We'll go do some towing. Your trailer, my fifth wheel. I've got some more trips coming up. So
Nice.
I'm getting ready to go up to up to Moab, so we're looking at a few 100 miles.
Okay.
So,
Okay. That's awesome, man. Thank you, brother, for the day. This is awesome. Good stuff.
boom, there we go.
Hey, if you live in Utah, maybe we can do a, fuel filter change there or something like that. Hey.
You know what? Even looking at the oil, right?
Yeah.
So once I'm out of oil changes at the dealership, I'm going to start doing my own because I use AMSOIL. I love their product, and I've never had anything go wrong with it. So.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Again, Ben, thank you.
Thank you.
And be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. See you guys soon.